Peace, love, and light to all my carbon beans out there. I just want to say this real quick. I had a conversation with my nephew yesterday and a little conversation with my nephew today. And I was just eating a green and red apple. Had season too, good. Just got finished eating. And there's something. I noticed my nephew basically tired of doing the same thing over and over and over again. My nephew mentioned this today. But excuse me, talk about yesterday now. My nephew thinks the only way to success is money. And I know a lot of our carbon beans out here that's think money is the only way to achieve their accomplishments. So I told my nephew, I said, now, even my nephew tired of school. Nephew's like, man, listen, I don't want to go to school, man. They ain't really teaching nothing. They're not really teaching nothing. I said, exactly. I said, it's like a prison. The school is like a prison. Like, basically, you got to be there on a certain time. Well, wake up on a certain time, be at the school at a certain time. And they teach you the same bull crap. And it's always about these orcs or wherever it's carbon beans that's teaching about this, crappy behind history of these orcs. Abraham Lincoln. And first of all, I looked at it before. It was on Hidden Colors. I watched Abraham Lincoln was actually, I forgot what tribe Abraham was. And they said the only reason why his penny is brown because the real Abraham Lincoln was actually a dark-skinned carbon bean. But I forgot, it wasn't, I'll guarantee say Morocco, but that's where they say where the Moors and stuff be at. But I was talking to my nephew about these things. So my nephew thinking like, man, if I had so much money, have all the money in the world, or if I had just enough money, I would get my mom a house, I'd get my family a house, get my mans a house. You talk about giving out, housing and going different, moving out of, as they call, so-called Philadelphia. And my cat calling me again to let him in. But so I'm thinking, as I'm listening to my nephew, money's the only way, to live. Money is the only way to, is the only way. Without money, there won't be, basically we'll be homeless, we'll be kicked out the house. I mean, as far as the society we living in this mankind system now, yes. And of course, already judgment already coming to them every time they do something foolish, going against nature, it's coming back. However, times worse is going to reflect to them even more. Every time. They already getting it regardless if they wasn't doing it. But they still going to get it. So there's no way for these orcs to turn back and trying to, we sorry. We're going to make it up to you. We're going to let you. No. Only way is to bring peace and conquer back on this planet is for y'all to be exiled. Or I should say, exile out of this planet to bring back in balance. So the energy can flow as it was back then, as in ancient times. As it's getting there. Process is already processing. There's energy. So, listen to my nephew. I said, so Neff, so you think this money here, this weak money with these darn pale-faced pork orcs on here, think the money is the only way to success in life? So my nephew basically, trying to cut me off a little bit, which nephew did. Then I had to call him all back. Money, without money, we won't able to survive. I said, that's wrong. I said, no, let's say, for instance, my nephew talked about the New Year's, man, I'm going to do this and that. I said, okay, so let's say till next year. Let's say this. I said, let's say, for example, I said, which it will happen. But I was saying, let's say this happened, which it will. I was like, if we ain't had no money, right? No money, no jobs, none of this. The system was crumbled down. No more of the system. It will fall down like dominoes. I said, now, a lot of those carbon beans out here, all this in this drug stuff and without money, and They don't have none of that. And clothing and stuff. I told my nephew, I said, now, you know, a lot of them going to panic and they're going to go bananas. They're going to go crazy. Because we know the system had tampered the minds of a lot of our carbon beings for the same thing over and over again. I mean, even though far it started from, you know, as they're young, and then it's like it's like entertaining their mindset to, you know, okay, this is the only way to success. This is the only way I can become this and that and the third. Now I told my nephew, I said, now wait, watch this. If all this was back in balance again, which it will, I said, now everything will be just destroyed. But as nature, you know, all this will bring back everything back in peace. I said, now think about the history. Back our ancestors back then, I said, I'm going to start off for the Egyptians. So let's say, for example, you know, if you look at those stone walls, all the symbols that our ancestors had built, right? They did all this artwork, right? All this art drawings and stuff and gave signs and stuff they had done to pass on to the next generation of us, carbon beings. Now, I said, now, how do you think how they survive, how they live, and how they was living back then? Did they have money back then? Nephew's like, no. I said, all right then. So they didn't need money or all this technology stuff that these orcs got, which they copied on us, of course. They didn't need that, none of this money stuff to make money, give it to each other to pay this, to do this. No. I said, think, because everything according to nature. I said, now think about the beautiful green grass, flowers, beautiful trees. I mean, the fresh waters and all that stuff. And none of this stuff wasn't tampered with, you know, as far as, you know, of course they got these, they call weed, which is what orcs named it, which is herbs. You know, I told my nephew, I said the herb, these weed that a lot of our carbon beings have, it's not really natural, pure weed. It's GMO. It's got chemicals inside of it. You know, they tamper with it. Might got a little something, a little herb into it, so, but most it's like GMO, or it's just GMO. I told my nephew, I said, think about it. Our ancestors back then, they had meditated. They communicated with the cosmos, the universe, and the mother planet as we stand now. They built pyramids. I was like, the pyramids, like, you see how the pyramids, it's like it's a triangle symbol, but it's like the top of it, they have light. So my nephew kind of cut me off like, dang, so we didn't got no electricity. So what about the electricity? I said, if you let me finish, I'll tell you. I said, now let me hear me out. I said, the sun is energy. You know, tells them how it's going to be cold. I said, once the system is jacked up, all that technology that make it cold, whatever, all that's going to be wiped completely off. Because it won't be cold anymore, because it's going to be nothing but nice heat that's going to rise. That's why the Egyptians, during the time, I was telling my nephew, during the time, you know, back then, ancestors, you know, did a lot of building. We connected, we have energy. Because I think I told my nephew we had 3 sons. Everything, it wasn't no clouds, none of this stuff. It was pure, beautiful sky. Like, it was pure, beautiful, no clouds, none of that stuff. No, anything wasn't tampered with. I said, our ancestors they built stone walls and they made symbols of a lot of things like crafts and stuff. They had technology, they had other mechanic stuff they had built, like, you know, like the ships, spaceships and stuff. You know, that can go levitate like near the water, float through the water. I said, instead of now, it's the society. Back then, we didn't had a passport or no money to go pay just to go travel on our own planet. I said, we didn't have that back then. We did as carbon beings. I said, we had the power and we had the connection. We had technology. We was builders. We did build a lot of structures. You know, we had built our own, as they say, houses, which I say temples and stuff. We built our own things to live through. The sun gave us light. We had sun. You know, gave us light. And all about the pyramids, I was telling my nephew, also, it's like the connection from the cosmos from down onto the pyramids, because it's like energy comes from above and comes straight down. And we had copper, silver, brass, and all this stuff, magmatic stuff. We had these things. You know, electricity, all these things. I said, us as celestial energy beings, we had the powers that be. We lived successful back then. Without money, none of these orc money. We didn't have no money. I said, it's paper. I said, people, so that's why they so clicked and tuned into this paper stuff, because what the orcs had taught lies about it and trying to make it like it's the only way to successful, and it's not. See, that money there, I said, we didn't need all that, nephew. I said, all we did, we meditated. We were saying a lot of things within ourselves. We gain power every time you meditate, or we was tuning in with the, the radiation of the energy and all that. We have connections. Not all this other low vibrational music, waves and stuff like that. No, we had our own waves. We did all these things. We had communications. We did a lot of these things. That's how we became successful, not with money as we know it today, as it continues on, which is ending. So my nephew like, yeah. So I said, so okay, all this money and stuff is gone. None of this have happened. If it's all shut down, I said, which it will next year. I'm not going to say not the first, but we know it's next year for sure. It could be the first, or it could be somewhere a couple of days from after that. It could be on the 4th, who knows? But it knows next year. I said, we're going to be living back as we living back in the old days. As it was, so shall be. I was telling my nephew, yeah, we're going to be able to travel, fly around, and go everywhere we want to go. And I said, our ancestors had written everything. Built pyramids. You had pyramids under waters. I had mentioned that in the video. We had pyramids under waters. Different, all over the planet. It was a lot of structures of pyramids. Maybe it was still this one and the same. Certain others had that pyramid shape. I said, all we did, we had the trees. I should have told my nephew like the Avatar movie. This was basically prime example when I spoke about the Avatar maybe more than one time on my other videos. I said, this is even my nephew like, yeah, this is some is jacked up, man. I said, yeah, because my nephew know about, things don't seem so right in the system. So my nephew, in a way, is sort of awakened. But nephew's going to be fully awakened up one way or another. Once all this is just tear down and all that stuff. And I say these orcs know it. I say these orcs know who we are. So they stopping us from not achieving back in our old ways, as you can put it that way. So I said, yeah. So I said back then, think about it. You got to look. I said, we never taught these. I said, a lot of these schools, they don't share this information. They don't want you to know. They want you to teach. They want to teach what they want to teach, which is false prophecy. Teach you the same thing over and over. It's just like eating the same food, junk food, eating the same thing. Here you go, huh? Eat this. I ain't got nothing else for you to eat. And this like from the back, or like from behind. They got all the good, healthy, wealthy stuff back there, nature food back there, trying to feed on to that. And then we're going to give you this. It's just like I said, like prisons, like going to jail. You wake up doing the same thing over and over and over again. I'm like, dang. In your mind said, I said, do they even get tired of it? Even today, my nephew, I said, dang, that's all we do is basketball, football, rap music, is Gucci, all this other stuff that is not very important. I said, do a lot of car music get tired of it? Because a lot of them are still doing the same thing. They still in that same rotation. So my nephew knows, like, well, my nephew looked like, well, yeah, that's true. Exactly. I said, so we didn't need all that. We made our own music. We made our own thing. Not this mankind garbage stuff we did, a lot of that's going on right now. So yeah, that's all I was, I just want to touch on, stuff that me and my nephew conversated. And I'm sitting in this position because soon after I'm going to get finished, I'm going to meditate. Just add, like I said, I had ate a green apple. I had ate a red apple with seeds. Then I'm going to drink some water from there. And it's like, yeah, even though at times when you go outside, certain places, even like for me, I'm going to speak on me. Like I go outside, it's like I can feel the change, of course, the change, but it's like mixed along with it. It's like that unbalanced type of feeling like, we know it's not normal out here. I don't feel very comfortable being around. But then I don't want to lie on having that feeling. I want to lie on achieving more and more into nature and stuff. So since they trying to make a little rain a little bit, so I'm going to see when I meditate as well. I'm going to bring some sun heat out here. For saying I'm going to see if I bring some sun heat out here, because it already sort of stopped. But I told my nephew, I said, the only way, I said, money is not the only successful way to achieve. To achieve I got to put certain words to make my nephew understand. You know, it's to stay away from this illusional stuff that they got here on our planet. If a lot of our people turn their backs away from that, as they say, get behind me, Satan. Push all that shit behind you and just push it away. Throw it away and try something new. I said, instead of just keep going over and over and over in the same recycle, get out of that recycle and find out what's really out there. That's just a lot of stuff that a lot of Carby's missing. But it's like they had certain pieces that's given to them, but they don't have the whole plug of nature. They don't have the whole thing. But so yeah, talk to my nephew. Be careful. You know, I talked to my nephew yesterday and today about this stuff. And you know, of course, like I'm not gonna say too much about my nephew about it because I know my nephew gonna have to see it for himself, and the rest of them. So I don't speak too much. I said, you know, you just be prepared, and you know, because I said what I said, and they're gonna have to see for themselves. Just notice I got the only most important thing I need to do, continue on doing what I need to do as far as nature wise. So leave it as that. You know, we got next, and we always gonna be as we were back in the ancient days. So till then, let's make it happen. Peace, love, and light.